Okay, welcome back. Please check out the link in the description for the Master Edit software, and also I'll be linking all my articles on writing and everything to do with the writing and videos and all that on there, so it's just easy to find everything. Alright, so now I know that I need a desire strong enough to reach her to the goal, to stop this Eater of Souls. And she doesn't know, obviously, that there is such a thing as an Eater of Souls yet. We only have hints at what's happening. We know that people are turning catatonic. Some think it might be a disease. That crazy witch doctor lady says that they're missing their souls. Somebody else says that they think it's something spiritual, but no one knows what it is, and she doesn't know what it is. But she's pretty sure it's not a disease. So she's wants to go find out what it is, and that's where the conflict comes in, where she decides to go to these the water elves, and the conflict is that, well, if she goes there, she'll get kicked out of her land and kicked out of her tribe, and what if her mother gets better and stuff, and now she can't get back, and also she has no father because the father didn't die, rather the father left when she was young. I know she has to go meet this character Cloud, this water elf Cloud. So they have to meet up sometime between here and here, and they don't like each other. They don't get along very well, or either she doesn't like him too much. They don't get along very well, and they're forced to work together. And obviously you can kind of see a love story developing there. But I'm thinking I'm going to throw a twist, because twists are always good, and that will be revealed toward the end. And the twist will be that they're brother and sister. It's a twist I'm thinking about. And so what happens is throughout the story they develop this love relationship, but they kind of feel weird when they kiss once, and they think, well, maybe it's just because they're not mature enough yet or something or whatever, and then by the end they realize they're half brother and sister, and I'll have to foreshadow that, give some hints. That way when it's revealed that his father is her father that ran away, so they find out they're half brother and sister, and they're like, oh, that must have been why, ooh, we kissed, that's why we didn't like it, then that's why you realize it, and that itself kind of reveals a thematic, there's a kind of a theme there that one, incest is wrong, and that you should be able to sort of feel it, or you might be able to feel it when you're with your brother or sister, whereas most likely that's not the truth. Most likely you won't feel it at all, but this is a different planet, different creatures. Anyway, so her desire then, that is when her best friend contacts this problem. Her best friend goes catatonic, and she loves her best friend a lot and can't lose her. So that's enough for her. She can't live without her. That's all she has. And so, she's willing to go through a lot to save her best friend. Matter of fact, she's willing here to say, what the hell with my people and what they say. I know they told me not to go to water people. I'm going to take my chances. She knows if she gets caught, she'll get kicked out, but she takes those chances and goes. And that's the conflict, is if she does, if she does it, she gets caught, she gets kicked out. If she doesn't do anything, then her best friend might never get help. She feels that the answer is by going there. So she follows her instincts and goes there. Also, when she's there, she sees this crazy creature. It's like a huge, big flying caterpillar, but it's got 4 big bubbly segments, kind of like glowworms, if you remember those things. And they're colorful, maybe pink and red or something. They got maybe some blue highlights or something. And they got big cheeks, like they're full of air. And so she follows one of these creatures once she gets to the water, to the water elf's place, and she notices that the water elves also have the same problem, and she has to spy and sneak in there because she's not allowed to be in there. And so far, this is kind of like a mystery. It's sort of it almost feels like a mystery story in a way, because as it starts off, because there's all these questions unanswered, and we're trying to figure out what's going on. Why are these people ending up this way? And it's cool. I like having mystery like that. A lot of questions unanswered. And so she realizes that the problem's widespread, obviously. Either that or it's contacted by these people too. And usually the water elves and lightning elves, they don't, they live far enough away that if the plague breaks out or some type of sickness breaks out, they don't both have it. Anyway, so she goes there and sees that they have the same problem. And that's when she meets up with Cloud, and that Cloud catches her. And she's like, please don't tell them. And, if you tell them that, I'll get kicked out. And, just let's just keep this a secret between me and you. And he decides not to tell. And that's when she sees that weird creature and she decides to follow it because, or first she sees that weird creature and then she has a feeling that something bad happened. And she runs with Cloud, but she has to stay hidden for no one sees her. And, he says, here, just stay out. I'll go check out what it is. And he comes back and tells her that, weird, there's some in that house that, because she had a weird feeling something weird happened. She saw that weird creature leave the house, that flying caterpillar thing. And so she had a weird feeling. They went there and he comes back and says, hey, that person just went catatonic on us. They'll have, I don't know what they'll call it yet. They'll have some name for it. That person just went so-and-so, whatever the name is. And she'll be like, oh no, did this just happen? Yeah, it just happened. And she sees a link. That weird creature left, person went catatonic. The creature has something to do with it. So she's like, I gotta go. And she goes, and he's like, hey, wait, I need answers too. And so he's like trying to follow her. And she's like, just leave me alone. I don't want nothing to do with you water elves. And he's like, hey, I didn't turn you in, type of thing. And so, he kind of comes along and she follows this thing. And he can't see it though. Just she can, but she doesn't realize that yet. And because another time one of these things flew right past her as if it didn't see her or something, or just the truth is it wasn't paying attention to her because it doesn't know that she can see him. No one's supposed to be able to see them. They are the helpers of the Eater of Souls. They're the ones they're the soul getters, the soul bringers. They bring the soul back to the Eater of Souls. And they capture it anyway. Soul bringer, that's kind of cool. Anyway, so she follows it, and it notices her finally that it's following her, and it turns around, it opens its gigantic mouth, and it's like spinning blades in its mouth, like many layers of shark's teeth, and says, you're not going to learn my secret, and like disappears behind some veil, and where she can't see it, and he's like thinking she's crazy, like, what are you like seeing things? There's nothing there, type of thing, and she's like, she's positive there's a link between this and that she's not crazy and that they have something to do with this, but maybe she is crazy. That the reader doesn't know this. Only I know this, how it's going to end. Okay, so now I have a desire that's strong enough to bring her to the goal. I have a cool conflict there that happened here. Another conflict will be is that she has to decide whether she wants to go on this journey to to save her people and everything, because it's going to be a big journey. And so I haven't decided how that's going to happen yet, but I need the journey to happen actually way before here. This is the point of no return. Maybe I could drag out that first desire to here and then have this be the point of no return, where then there's a new that is a revelation. She figures out what happened and something. Anyway, so I think of all that as I move on, but my goal is that she's going to defeat that thing, the Eater of Souls, and she needs to obviously get strong enough then. So I know that the reason why she fears her lightning powers is because she's really, really powerful. She doesn't know that, but she just has like this fear for it. But what happens is she does sort of have an uncontrollability with her power, and the reason why is because she's so powerful. More powerful than all of them, than all of the elves, all of the lightning elves. She's super duper powerful, and once she unlocks that power, it's strong enough for her to defeat this Eater of Souls, this which turns out to be like this huge, big, black type monster creature thing. And she uses her, she transforms into a super huge, gigantic lightning being to match the size of this thing, and is able to defeat it. And set all the souls free so everyone returns back to normal. So I know that's how it's going to end, and knowing how my story ends will help me plug in all these other parts, all the other pieces of the puzzle. And so the next thing I like to think about too is theme. I like to have a theme in mind. That way, as I'm developing my story, I'm fitting everything to heighten the theme and to strengthen the theme. That way the ending is more satisfactory when it's revealed. And I might even change my idea. And I'll have more than one theme. Always a novel will have more than one theme, but I need one main theme that I drive home and I constantly revisit throughout. And I structure scenes to strengthen that theme. That way at the end it's like boom. Anyway, so thank you, and I hope that you come back for the next part and continue this. And please, like I said, go to the master edit link there in the description and leave comments. Thanks.